Hi everybody, welcome back to the table. So today we are doing something a little bit different. We're actually making a tumbler. This is the Harley Quinn Joker split tumbler that is on my Etsy page. Sorry about my hands. I actually just got done doing a painting video, or a couple painting videos. So this is, like I said, it's going to be a half and half Joker. So half Joker, half Harley Quinn. And everything that you are going to need is, so this is an Ozark tumbler that I got at Walmart. It was just the solid steel color and I spray painted it white. I found that it's best to use a flat white instead of a glossy white because it just holds up better, and with using a flat, when you put your pieces on it for your lines, you have less chance of peeling for tape, or peeling up the paint with the tape. You are going to need some tape, foam brushes for your Mosh Podge. Oh, let me grab my Mosh Podge down. You are going to need some ModPodge, whatever glitter colors you need. So we are going to need white, black, and red for Harley Quinn, and then the green and purple for the Joker. We are going to be doing some vinyls later on in the video that we are going to put on top, but that's after we put our first coat of resin. Speaking of, you are going to need resin to seal it all in. For the tumblers, I use this FDA compliant super high gloss resin. I get this one at Hobby Lobby. And this one is FDA compliant, so it's safe to drink and eat out of. So the first step you're going to need to do is you got to get your measurements done. We actually want to tape off the top because we are going to have a solid black top on the Harley Quinn piece. So we want to do our tape line. Easiest way to do a good tape line around is just to put something up that's going to be too high for what we're looking for. This will actually work. So you're just going to take this, put your pencil on it, hold your pencil down, put your tumbler up to it, and then just twist. My pencil is peeling my paint. Okay. Okay, and that's going to give you a good solid line all the way around. And you could do the same on the bottom, but I always just use this line right here that's already made in the mug. So we're going to tape it off. I actually want to make that line a little bit thicker because it's normally thicker for the top. I can't find what I normally use. Okay, I found it. I normally use this piece of tape because it's the perfect height. Because once you take this piece of tape and you add it with the height of your pencil, you have a really good height. So we are going to do another line, which is okay because the original line is going to be covered up by glitter. Okay. So now we have our second line, and this second line is the one that we are going to use to do our taping off of. So let's go ahead and get this taped. Same thing on the bottom. Okay, once you have your top and your bottom done, we're going to do our measurements. And like I said, I've done these multiple times, so I already have my measurements written down here. So just going to find a starting point on your top. Now what you want to do, if you don't have measurements yet, you're going to measure all the way around. You're going to measure all the way around, and you're going to take that number and you're going to divide it by 8. And then those are your marks, okay? So that your circumference divided by 8, and whatever measurement you're using, whether centimeters, inches, whatever, divided by 8. And I am at 4.1 centimeters. Okay, now we got that one done. You're going to do the same thing for the bottom. I always try and do a straight line down, as much straight as possible, so you have a good starting point. Okay. Okay, so the next marks we're going to do are going to be on the bottom. And that's going to be the same thing, so you're going to measure the circumference and then you're going to divide by 8. So mine is 3, because the circumference is 24 centimeters. Okay, I was a little off on that last one. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And then the last one that you're going to do is you're going to measure from top to bottom and then divide it by 3. And mine was 5.3, but I'm going to measure again. So 16.5. 5.5. This is a little bit shorter than it was last time. So we're going to do 5.5 all the way around. Then you're going to do it again one more time. Okay, once you get all of your marks on there, I always go back and just do a big X on them. Okay, so now that you got that part done, you can see all my X's and all of my lines. So the next step is you're actually going to put your grid lines on. So I actually, instead of trying to use tape or any of that, I actually made my own on my Cricut Maker. So that way I know every single one of them is the same, they're identical. And I'm trying to find my weeding tool. There it is. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off one of these. And we are going to start laying out the grid pattern. So you're going to start, and you're going to come over and down. So you're going to start at the top, you're going to go over 1, 2 X's down to the bottom line, okay, if that makes sense. So we're going to start at the top. And we're going to have it come over the 2 X's. To the bottom. You just have to play with it. Sometimes it just doesn't like to go on there evenly. Okay, so now that we got the first part of it done, now we're just going to do the exact same thing but in the opposite direction to give us our diamonds. Okay, so now we are done. Now, technically, we actually only needed to do half of this mug because half is the Harley Quinn diamonds and half is just going to be the solid ombre Joker. But I do the entire thing for a couple of reasons. One is just consistency, so it's consistent all the way around. And two, now that I have it done, I can actually look. So these are a little off. This one looks like it's a little bit curved. Y'all can see that. So if this was a straight diamond pattern, then of course I would be fixing that. But we can just move and just find like this is a really good consistent pattern area here. So I think I want to use this side for the Harley Quinn side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this. I'm going to take one of these. And where were we? I think that looks the best. So we are going to that one's really curved. That one's curved too. Looks like everything's got a little bit of a curve to it. So let's do, but that section looks pretty good right there. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to run this straight down the middle. And this is my line from where Harley Quinn stops and the Joker starts. Straight down. Okay. So that's one side. And now we're going to go straight across to the other side. So that's there. So this is our opposite end. Right here. Let me make sure. Okay. We're going to go straight down. Okay. So whenever you're doing your lines to kind of mark it off, make sure that when you're putting your strip downwards, so this on this one, it's on the outside, it's on the right side of this break, and on this side it's going to be on the left side. See what I mean? So this is on the left portion of the diamond, and this one's on the right portion of the diamond, so then this is actually going to be even. Okay, so now that this is our Harley Quinn side, we're going to go ahead and mark it. So the top and the bottom are black glitter, so these are going to be red. So R, B, okay, so we have everything marked so we know which one's red, which one's black for the glitter, and then of course the tape itself is going to be black. Alright, so we are going to get this area prepped for using the Mosh Podge and the glitter, and we will be right back. Okay, so the Mosh Podge we're using is just regular gloss Mod Podge. You can use whatever kind you want. This is just what I had on hand. A foam brush, something to catch your glitter on to be able to put it back in the container, and of course your glitter. See, this is one that's been opened before. It has. Okay. Now we will do one color all fully before we move on to the next one. So we'll do all coats of red. Normally it's going to take 2 coats. And let me grab my holder. Okay, and then I have my holder here that I'm going to put my thing on just to make it easier to move around. Okay, and we are just going to paint the Mosh Podge into our triangles and our diamonds, and then we're going to glitter them. Okay, that's it for the first round of red. We have to let this dry for about an hour, hour and a half to make sure that the Mosh Podge fully cures. It takes a little bit longer because it's underneath the glitter. And then I will take this outside, and I actually use, well, these are the brushes that I use for when I'm doing my wood grain. I will use a bristle brush like this, and I'll just brush it just like I did and just put glitter everywhere. And probably gonna have to get a new brush now for that, but I'll brush this and get all the excess glitter off, and then we'll come back for round 2. See you soon. Okay, we are back to do the second round. So I have brushed this off to make it a little bit cleaner, and we are going to start over. Okay, so that's going to be it for the red part of it. We are going to let that one dry. I'm going to get all this cleaned up, and we are going to switch over to the black. Okay, we are back. Just came in from outside. It is all cleaned up. And we are going to start working on the black side, or on the black diamonds. Okay, the first coat of black is on. We're going to let this one dry. We'll take it outside, brush it off, and then we'll be back for the second coat. Okay, we're back. It's been all brushed off, and we are ready for the second coat of black. Here we go. Okay, that is it for our second coat of black. We shouldn't have to do another one. Once it's dried, I'll brush it off and make sure that we don't have any holidays or cracks or any open spaces. And then we will start taking off the tape, the grid, so that we can do the white in between. That's the most taxing part, is doing all the white lines. So we will be back. Okay, so we are back. It's all been brushed off. So we're gonna go ahead and start removing all of the gold tape so that way we can get into the grid and then do the white lines that go between the red and the black. So I'm gonna get this started. This is gonna take a little bit once I get it off the holder here. There we go. Okay, so this is gonna take a little bit. I'm gonna do a few on video and then I'm probably just gonna pause it and then come back when I'm done. But you always want to, of course, start with the sides. And try not to pull upwards. Try not to pull this way. Always bring the tape down so it can fold over itself. You have less chance of picking up the glitter, because sometimes it'll hold on and the whole thing will start coming off and folding back. Okay, so when you start taking off your grid, just be careful. What I've found is sometimes when you're starting to peel the whole thing, like just one big clump of glitter will start peeling back. So just do it slowly. And sometimes I just hold my fingers on both sides of it, and that way, especially when you're going into a new section, and I just put my fingers down, and that way it won't fold over and start coming off. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to do this and remove the grid, and we will be back. Okay, we are back, and as you can see, we've got our mess of stuff here, and we are going to go ahead and get this brushed off. Okay, so now's the chance to check for any imperfections in it and get them out. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this outside and we're actually going to spray a sealer, a glitter sealer on it. So that way when we're working with the white and we're putting the white on there, the black and the red doesn't fall into the white, because we want it to be a really good crisp color. Now, one thing we do have to do before we put the white on, and this is extremely important if you were going to do this, you can see that the X's are still on there. I don't know how well you can see that. There we go. The X's are still on there from when we were doing our marks. If you don't erase those, you will be able to see them through your white glitter. So it's very important that you go in and erase those before you put your sealer on there, of course, because then you're going to seal it in and you can't get to it. So I just have just one of these pink erasers, and I just go in the middle and then just erase it, which is why I use pencil. So that way you can go in, you can erase it, and then you won't have it, because if you don't, you're going to see that through your white glitter. Trust me, I know from experience. So just go through. And you don't have to worry about this side. Excuse me. You don't have to worry about this side, because this is going to be green and purple glitter and you're not going to be able to see through it. The only ones you have to worry about is the white, because it is opaque and which means see-through. So, okay. So just go through and get rid of all of your X's. Okay, so there's one more thing you have to do. So in some places, the paint got chipped off. So I don't know if you can see that right there where the paint got chipped off. You will also be able to see that through the white glitter. There's actually 2 spots because there's another one right here. So I will actually take some white paint. Let me grab it in a little paintbrush. And I will go in and actually paint over that. Nope, that paint's not going to work, because that is glitter paint. Okay, let's see if my flow acrylic paint will work, because apparently I am out of the other stuff. I just need to put a little bit of it in there. Okay. And that's just enough, so you can't even see it anymore. That's enough to be able to not be able to see it through the glitter. But those little steps are very important. Okay. And we are all set. We are going to let that dry the rest of the way. And then we can start working on the white. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up and we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. This is my other mug that I made. This is the one that I made for our, it has drink in it so I can't spill it. This is the one I made for my trip to Florida. My ombre with the beach colors. Okay, so the mug has been sprayed and sealed. This is what I use to seal it. It's the Mosh Podge gloss. It's just a clear acrylic sealer. I like this better than glitter sealers. I think glitter sealers actually make it look really, really flat and take away a lot of the shine. But now it's all sealed, so we shouldn't have any flaking from the red and the black to the white. So like I said before, the white is the most temperamental part. It takes the longest, and it just takes a lot of patience to do it. Let me grab a different, there we go. Okay. So with the white, you're literally just going to go around the lines, or down the lines, and fill it in. And normally white takes about 3 coats. Don't forget to go back and tape your edges again. off my rings because they keep scratching the inside of the mug. Okay. Okay, we are going to let this dry and then we are going to see where we're at. Okay, so we are back. We're going to be able to get away with one coat of white. It actually went on really, really well because I did a little bit thicker in the Mosh Podge. So there are a few spots that I want to touch up where the white got into the black and the red. And so the easiest thing to do is I'm just going to start with red because whenever we do black, when we have to do the lines here. See if I can get my red to open. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and you might not be able to see them on camera, but there's just a couple of spots. See if I can even find them. Like here where the white got into the red, you might not be able to see it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Mosh Podge on top of where that white is. On the red. And then we're going to glitter over it. There we go. And just go around, you know, any spots that kind of really bug you, that really stand out. It's mainly the black, the white on the black that really stands out. I think that was the only red spot. There was a couple other ones. There and here. Just be very careful when you're doing this, because if you get your Mosh Podge on the white and then you pour your red over it and then you get on the white. If you get the red glitter on your white lines, it's almost impossible to fix. Okay, that fixes those two red spots. Oh wait, I found one more. And honestly, somebody else might not have never even seen them, but they're like big flashing lights to me. Those little imperfections. Okay. Kind of brushed that one a little too soon and it pulled the Mosh Podge. Okay. So we're going to let that sit for a second. We are going to put this red back in its container. This is for the black. So we need to take off all of this tape. I'm actually just going to pull that down. Okay, so remember earlier when I said you want to keep your finger down? So this is why right here pulling this tape, it's actually pulling the glitter. The entire piece is coming up. And this happens a lot on the very top. So that's where you want to have your finger down and then pull your tape. And then hopefully your line will come out really quite a bit smoother. Okay, so now we have our top line. I'm going to put this back up. Okay, and now we need to do the bottom. Okay, now another thing when you're doing these split tumblers, I do the bases on all of my mugs. So you want to try and get your tape as much to the center as possible, because your black is going to come all the way over. So when you're folding your tape back over, you want to try and find a happy medium. Okay. And now we have a line so our black can come over, but we're still going to have our split on the bottom. Brush off that red. Okay. So now we can work on getting the rest of the black done. I'm going to do the touch-up spots first. I have glitter on my nose. Okay. So there was some glitter spots that were bugging me. Might need a smaller brush. We're going to let this one sit to dry, and we will come back with the second coat. All right, it is dried pretty much. I have brushed off the excess, and now we are going to put the second and final coat on. And hopefully the Harley Quinn side will be done. Well, with glitter anyways. Okay, so hopefully that should be the last one that we have to do for this side of the Harley Quinn side. We're going to let this last coat of black dry, and then we're going to brush it off, and as long as it's okay, I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to spray it down with our Mosh Podge and seal it. And then we will come back and we're going to work on the Joker side, which is going to be an ombre, and it ombres from green into his purple. So I will see y'all in a few. Okay, we're back. It is all dried and been coated, so we are going to go ahead and take off the tape. Okay. So the next piece is going to be the ombre fade for the Joker side. It's going to be green up into purple. And the first coat is mainly just to get a base on there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your ombre doesn't have to be perfect. And you are going to have to freehand this part. Okay, so that is our first coat on the Joker side. So we've got the green into the purple ombre. And we're going to let this dry, and then we will do another coat. Because once we brush this off, you're going to see a whole bunch of brush strokes. The second coat is always the one that you really get a good adherence. So we're going to let this dry, and we'll see you back. Okay, so that layer is dry. Let me move my camera out of the way so I don't get glitter all over it. That layer is dry, so we're going to go ahead and put on the second layer. This one's a little more important when it comes to getting a really good ombre look on there. I don't know if y'all can see that. See if I can bring you closer. So, make sure my glitters are open. Okay. Okay, that's our second coat. Now once this is dry, we'll brush it off and we will see if we need a third. See you soon. Okay. I'm gonna drink some coffee. So we are done with that portion of it. Let me move this out of the way for a second. So we've got the Harley Quinn side done, and here's the Joker side. So I already took it outside, brushed off all the excess glitter that gave us a really nice, just very subtle ombre. And we've got some good clean seams here. So just pay attention to those things to make sure you don't have any gaps in your seams on both sides. And then also that your bottom is completely covered as well. So now that that part is done, we're going to go ahead and put on the first coat of resin. Now the resin is really important, especially when you're doing glitter tumblers, that you're going to put vinyls on top of. If you don't completely cover the glitter and make it a very smooth surface, then the glitter will actually kind of pimple the vinyl, and you're going to see all kinds of dots and specks and everything. So this is my homemade cup tisserie. Whenever you're putting the resin on, you want it to be able to spin. Let me get it plugged in here. So that way you get a nice even coat. Okay, so now it's spinning. What we're going to do is we're going to put the resin on. This one you actually want to do pretty thick. A lot of the other coats, you can do a really nice thin layer if it's just paint or something like that. But with glitter, you want it to be a decent thickness of a coat so that you have a good smooth surface to put your vinyls on, because we're going to have to put a Harley Quinn and Joker vinyls on each side. Okay, and again we're using the this high gloss 1-to-1 FDA compliant resin that I get at Hobby Lobby. Okay, now that that part is done, we are going to use our little creme brulee torch here and get all the bubbles and stuff out. And I had to order new gloves because I ran out of my small, extra small gloves, and these are one size fits all, which doesn't mean anything. So these are quite a bit bigger than what I like to use. Having gloves that fit nice and snug are so much easier. Okay. One of the most important places to pay attention for bubbles is right here on this. If your tumbler has a little level where it either drops down or up, you will get a lot of bubbles that'll congregate right there, and then of course at the top and the bottom as well. So I just do just really quick over it. I actually have it to where the flame touches the resin, but I don't leave it on there for very long. If you heat your resin up too much, then it's going to get really, really liquidy. It's not going to be as thick. It's going to get really thin and won't dry evenly, so just be careful not to heat your resin up too much. So nice and quick over it. Okay, and that's all for that part. I'm going to let this spin for about 24 hours, and then we will be back to put the vinyls on. See you soon. Okay, we are back and we are all done. Let me bring this in. So this is the finished product. So of course this is the Joker side. My camera's not wanting to focus. So here's the Joker side. And then we have Harley Quinn. Okay. Thank y'all very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please post them in the comments section and I will do my best to get back to you. Please don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe so you can see all the new stuff that's coming. I will be posting some up-close pictures at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. And again, thank you very, very much, and I will see y'all next time. God bless.